10 seconds.
Welcome back, everybody, from the View from the Dead Box. Yo, dude, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn? I like the dramatic pause. I like because I know most people don't watch the videos, so it's like just staring at you, and I'm like, is he gonna say something I have to cut out? Or is he saying something? Is he leading to something? Or is he just like waiting for me to jump in? Like I never can tell.
Yeah.
Because we are unscripted as fuck.
You know what's funny is I guess I'm just used to being a podcast, not really a YouTube thing. And Weston, I believe, watches all of them because he always says, yeah, I was watching you guys last week and you know, so and so and so and so, or yeah, I was going back and watching a couple of your episodes before and so. And I'm like, and I always like forget that we are on here and, you know, watchable for say.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't pay much attention to YouTube, but I happen to today. We almost have 100 subscribers, which I think is just kind of funny because like we don't push the YouTube at all. Like, and I haven't really like looked. I don't look at the views on YouTube or anything like that. Like, let me see. I have it pulled up here. Yeah, we have 94 subscribers. Let me see something. I'm just kind of curious since we're talking about it. Yeah, we don't get near the number of views on YouTube. Hey, she's jumping in.
Yeah.
We have a guest.
What are we talking about?
Nothing right now.
Nothing right now. We're just kind of bullshitting.
Oh, okay.
What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about anything? You're right there. Look, putting you on the spot.
Yeah, right. I want to talk about the DeadMan walk. Have we talked about that yet?
We have not.
No, we have not. We literally.
I talked to Michael this weekend at the field. And I'm like, y'all have to talk about that because I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Did you see the video? Did everybody in here see the video?
Oh yeah, I've seen the video.
What would you have done if that would have been our team? Before we talk about the actual video.
You mean on the field, letting that happen to you, or
yeah, that one, that right there.
I think I would have addressed it the exact same way they did, but most of us been playing so long that that'd be nearly impossible to happen. You know, because anybody I see walking off, and unless they have a visible hit on them, I always put one on them anyways.
Yeah.
So, but the team that did that, they got it after that. To my understanding, they played them again, and Kevin's guys like literally shot the fuck out of them.
Oh yeah.
I think they even got an overshooting penalty like warning on them because they shot but listen, that's a big reason of why that's not welcomed in the sport anymore, because that everybody tends to get up, stand up, walk off the bunker, and then get like 8 more in their back. That just happens.
Absolutely.
You know? So just doing that in general promotes that. So that's why most places say no dead man's walk, no dead man's walk. And I don't know how they allowed it, because I'm pretty sure if I read the rule book, it says no dead man's walk. I also want to know how.
Well, it's SPL, so
yeah, I also
they had a lot of few.
Yeah, I'm curious what rule book they use. I want to know
how they tied in semis. They won one, lost one, and then ran a time on the third one. It should either go to a 1.5 minutes overtime point, or it goes to one-on-ones. I don't know how you tie, win one, lose one, and then run out of time, and then they go back and see who won the fastest point, and then let them move on for first and second place.
In semis now, this happened in semis.
Yeah, in prelims it goes off of time.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
I'd have to look at their rule book. They must use like a modified NXL.
Well, I think that's how everybody covers their ass. They would go modified NXL rules.
Yeah.
So when you catch their ass in a lie, you go, no, that's not right. It's like this. This is how it's supposed to read. They go, oh, well, we actually have run a modified rule book, and that's what, you know what I mean? That's just a way to like cover their ass.
Would you ever attempt to do something like that in a tournament?
So
maybe would you ever attempt to do a dead man's walk? Like maybe not you specifically, but would you ever have like a team you were coaching or playing with, or whatever the thing would be? Would you ever do that? I don't think
I've done dead man's walk in the woods before.
That was going to be my next thing. Have you ever? So tell me about that then.
We were playing in Trigger Time many years ago, and
that was in Colombia.
Yep,
correct?
Colombia. Okay. Yeah, which I actually believe they are spinning speedball back up a field there, and they actually bought our old bunkers.
Yep.
But anyways, it was probably like 400 on 400, something like that.
Yeah,
Close to game. But in that part of the woods, it was like 50 on 50, and we were in a real bad spot. And I like quote unquote like surrendered and walked off like I was hit, walked out, walked down the net line, and walked literally turned around right behind all of them, and then literally just walked up and shot each one in the back with one shot. Like I had a cocker at the time. It was like, and everyone was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. I was walking behind each one, clack, 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 clack. And I think I shot like 10 or 15 until one guy literally cheated and like started crying about it, and then it like drew the attention of everybody. Then I got fucking melted, which is to be expected. But
I bet that felt fucking glorious.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. It's literally great.
I've never done it. I don't think I ever would. I've told the story about we did the pump meet up in Classics, which it's Bandit Land now. And it was like 20 pump players versus like respawning rentals. So it's like we were all running out of paint. Well, then all of a sudden I looked and I'm with, I think it was either Rowan or Shane. And I said, is that guy trying to do a DeadMans walk? Like he just like walked out of the spawn, but just like kept walking. And no one was shooting at him. And Rowan was like, yeah, I think so. Or whoever it was, and like 2 or 3 of us shot the fuck out of him. And it was like, he got relatively close, like within 30 feet. And I'm like, he's just walking with a mission. Like he's fucking up to something. I was like, we just fucking roasted him. But that's the only time I've ever been around it or even seen it other than videos and stuff. Because I know it happened at Cup, not this year, maybe the year before on the 10-man field.
Yeah.
They had a video of that one, which was interesting too. But.
Yeah. So you seen the jersey this weekend, right?
I did. It's fucking dope. It's fucking dope.
Look at her.
Yeah, how did you get that jersey, by the way?
I can't say yeah. My wife got it for me actually.
Is the goat, yes. Yeah, no. I'm the goat. Yeah. I heard the podcast from a couple weeks ago. I'm like, you didn't even shout me out for, getting that for you.
So is that why you jumped in the background?
Yeah. Wanted to say she got it. Look at her.
Yeah. Get her a little bit of attention.
I was mad.
Mad that it looks so good on me.
It does. I saw it and obviously you weren't wearing your jersey when we first got there, and I was like up in the tower looking down and I saw you put it on and I was like, oh, he's gonna play in that. I was like, I don't blame him. I probably would too, but with your luck, someone would have shot you with some pink paint left over from an event or something.
Yeah.
Because they definitely had it out there.
Yeah, they're using it.
Is it cotton like the jersey, like the old ones, or is it like a new material?
I think it feels like a carbon jersey.
Yeah.
Because I was curious, like I didn't touch it or anything, but I wasn't sure if it was kind of made how like JT used to make those old, like how Vicious used to wear, just a cotton t-shirt. But
no.
Okay. That's what I was curious about. Did you have anything you want to talk about? I have a few topics, but I know Courtney's here. So other than the DeadMans walk.
Oh, back to that. You know that the kid that did that.
Patrick Moyer, I think his name is.
Supposedly he didn't play when because Kevin and them played them again in like semis or what.
Oh, we might have lost microphone.
No, we're good.
No.
Oh, we're good.
And apparently when they played in semis, that kid that did the DeadMan walk, he did not play in those 2 points.
That's a smart man.
Yeah.
He's probably like, I'm not going in, coach.
He tried to, I seen him comment on the video or whatever. He was trying to defend himself, like, saying they didn't need him those 2 points. Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if there's nothing in the rule book, it's just, it's not I don't know. If it's not in the, like, if it's not in this rule book, then to me it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But I don't want to say it's a shitty thing to do. I don't know how I feel about it. Like I said, I wouldn't do it in a tournament situation. I don't even think these days I would do it in like a scenario in the woods for fun, because it's just fucking annoying. Because it kind of plays off of, like in a tournament, it's well, both really. It plays off people being nice and they're like, oh, I'm not going to shoot that guy anymore, and like that's why people get overshot. And
that's what I'm saying.
The situation proves that. Like that's why that team got shot off the field. Like, so it sucks. So you got all your boys shot up. That's all I can say.
Yep.
Like, and like that happens with some teams, then everyone's fucking shooting from the dead box and you have a whole other fucking situation.
And I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that guy was looking, that's not even his team. He made a post earlier in the week looking to guest on a team to play. So let's say this. Let's say I am right, and I did read that post right. He guested with the team, did that, and then when the team had to pay for it, he wasn't on the field.
That's even funnier.
All guys got melted for it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
That's even funnier. Yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't know much about the whole situation until I saw the actual video.
Yeah.
Which is still, that is. Courtney, what if we told you to go do a dead man's walk? Would you go, okay? Or would you question all of our existence?
I mean, if that was my job, I'd probably do it only because y'all told me to.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. If one of y'all told me that, I'd be like, I don't think this is a good plan, guys. I was like, it might work once, or I'm gonna get fucking.
Have you ever walked in your bunker and not been shot?
No.
It's pretty rare, right?
Yeah.
I always get shot usually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever maybe as a kid I was afraid and called myself out. I'm like, oh fuck this shit. But I haven't done anything like that.
Like, even if you get shot, like across the field, pop, and you stand up to walk off, you typically get clipped again, like by somebody else.
Yeah. Very rarely do I get shot. Like I said, like one time and then nothing again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the video doesn't show how from his side of the field. He's on the other team's side of the field when you see when it starts, when the video starts.
My thing is you could do it if you lined up running to a corner and slid in and then just like a baseball slide popped up and just walked out of your bunker. I think that's the way to do it because they're gonna I hit him going to the corner. You know what I mean? And he just slid past his bunker and stood up. But that's why you shoot for the overslide to prevent stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know. That's trying to think because I don't know. I don't know how he would have done it. If I saw someone just walk out of their bunker, I might assume they were out. But as soon as I'm walking down my side, I probably would shoot him. He might get a little ways down, I think. And especially now, everyone's going to be so sus of it in our area. At least for a hot fucking minute. And people won't do that shit in practice. At least they shouldn't. That's even shittier. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to me.
How'd you think practice went this weekend?
I think it went very well. I thought we were going to come into some issues again with similar person because he said something and I was like, you have got to be shitting me. I don't know his name and I'm not going to call him out because he may or may not listen, but I was just like, really? I was like, Jamie shot you with one ball and apologized afterwards and you immediately went to, I'm not fucking doing this shit with you guys this weekend or whatever. I don't know his exact words, but it was something along those lines. And I was like, oh, okay. I went to Jamie. He was like, same dude. I'm like, well, I know. I was like, but did you shoot him more than once? He goes, no, I accidentally fired one ball. I was like, okay, that's what I thought I heard. So how'd you feel?
I felt pretty comfortable, honestly, playing with everybody, especially because some of those guys were new pieces filling in spots, you know what I mean? But I think, I'm not sure how much you got to watch Beasley play, but I think his communication is probably his strongest suit. A great player.
Yeah.
I think his communication in general is probably the strongest thing about him.
I agree, especially being on the Snake side.
Yeah, it's funny, is I was talking to him about it. I'm like, he plays the Snake side, on Crisis, they play him a lot over there, and that's not typically where he wants to play at. So I was kind of talking to him, and he's like, I was like, you want to try home, and he's like, I'll play whatever. So back there, he's like, I'll be honest, he's like, I feel the most comfortable back here, and then he spins to either side depending on what's going on. Yeah. But he's like, well, I'm terrible with soccer. He says that whatever position plays in the back, that's what he's played soccer his whole life. Yeah. And that's what he played. So he's always calling out and always communicating. And that's what he does is coordinate everything back there. So he's like, no, I'm right at home. He's like,
that makes
24/7 moving, and quarterbacking back here, moving around. He's like, I feel comfortable. I'm like, all my guys typically don't like to play in the back. So I'm like, so you're perfectly fine. You can play right there and then rotate wherever you want to go to. So
it was good having him behind Kyle because Kyle, a lot of times I feel like doesn't get the communication he needs. Not always. And it's not, it's just sometimes he gets so far down the field and on this layout, it's a little different. You can't really do anything at the Snake, at least on our field, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Who knows what that's going to be at the event, but to me, Snake was relatively easy to get into, but you couldn't do anything till you were in the Viper, you know what I mean? Or maybe you had maybe a shot or two at the S1. But you typically weren't going to the S1. You were just going to the S2, the S3, and trying to get to the Viper, which makes the most sense. I don't know. I don't know how that layout's going to play. And like I said, it'll depend on how it's set up there.
Yeah.
If we have everything perfect. So I don't know.
Well, we don't have to worry about that because D3 X Ball was filled Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
It's never been full. Not once.
I was like, what do you mean you don't have to worry about it?
Yeah, it is. That division has never filled up one time ever since the MVPS has been around. It filled up Saturday night. Kyle
that makes
texted me.
Alex happy.
Yeah, Kyle texted me and said, D3 filled up last night. I said, what? He said, yeah. I texted everybody. I'm like, have you ever seen this? He's like, no, we've never seen it get past like 10, 12 teams ever. I'm like, he's like, hell, last event it was like 9 or 8 or something like that.
That is fucking wild.
15, cap it. And I don't understand the 15 thing. Is that not weird as well?
That is weird. Well, yeah. Yeah, that is weird.
Don't you need like 16 or just fit? I had to do the math. I haven't done the math for the breakdown.
I feel like you need an even number, but
I thought you did, but I guess you don't.
Apparently not.
You know, I mean, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, maybe if they take top, I'm not sure how many they take from the brackets, maybe top 3 or something, or top 4, but maybe after that, it prevents people from getting buys after the first round, maybe or something. I haven't done the math because I'm thinking, I'm like, why would you take 16, have 2 brackets of 8, take top 4 from each, top 1 get a buy, and the bottom 3 play each other? But then that would leave 5, so somebody would be getting a buy. You know what I mean? So I know you couldn't do 16. So just
weird. Dang. I guess y'all aren't playing.
Yeah. Like
that sucks.
Yeah, it was a struggle to get the roster put together as it is, you know, with Daniel having the kid.
Yeah.
You know, Peng was already up in the air about it. So I'm like, fuck. And then we pulled in Beasley. I'm like, all right, that, you know, right. And then Derek locked in. So I'm like, all right, we'll have 7, probably 8 bodies. We'll be fine with a normal pit. So it kind of sucks, but I guess we're going to go ahead and lock in for the CPXL on May 14th, 15th weekend, and then go ahead and start prepping for MVPS. I think it's in June sometime, or I have to see I guess it would be, I don't know. I'd have to see when it is. Because I went on NXL, it doesn't have the dates. So maybe he has it somewhere on the Facebook page.
Yeah, he does not have it up on, what's it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Like I said, I guess I'll have to watch some of the live stream because I'm curious how that layout's gonna go. Like, and I'm curious if it's gonna be different from like division to division.
I talked to Mike at Bayside and he said the same thing at the Raiders. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that layout anyways. And he was like, yeah, it took us a while, but I think we have a grasp on it. So I'm kind of curious to see how it plays for everybody.
Yeah. Did he say anything like the same thing about the snake side being goofed?
I didn't ask. Okay.
That's my biggest thing.
I'm like, have you ever seen this division fill up? He's like, no, not in the last 3 years. It's never had over like 10 teams. I'm like, yeah, so I thought.
That is funny. Well, I can tell you what it probably is all those D4 guys are phased. You know what I mean? They're having to rank up.
Yeah, but the last event, it didn't. It was like 8 teams. So didn't make any sense.
Well, they probably all were like, we're going to go, like 2 guys will go play here and like try to stay D4. You know what I mean? Like play down. And then they're like, oh, our team suck.
D4 capped out too, instantly. Yeah. D4 capped out like
That's
2 weeks
crazy.
ago.
That is wild.
Which is good for Alex.
Yeah. I looked and it looked like every division is capped out, which is great. I mean, good for them.
What'd you have?
Well, I was gonna ask you what your thoughts are on that gun with the fake AT pipe that's been floating around. Do you think it's
well, you know the weird did I tell you about this? I thought we talked about this about 2 podcasts ago.
Okay,
but Derek told me that he knows who has that one or something. It was about a month ago, like either at NXL or around that time. He said who the guy was, but he's like, there's an LV2 that they're using it right now. They're testing. He's like, and he even said the pipe. He's like, the pipe is wrapped. It's a fake pipe. And then just this week, the pictures came out. Yeah. So somebody's known about it for a month now. Like it's been out in testing. You know what I mean? And I would imagine that if you release an LV with an AT pipe, you have to be a fucking idiot at this point. Agree. You have to get rid of that guy. Yeah, we definitely talked about this because you said you've never played with one in the game, but you always thought it hit your hand weird.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Glad you remember. Hey, my brain's all over the place. I know we didn't talk about this one because it didn't come until last week. What about the new Ether 3? What do you think about that thing? I would like that.
Dropped the ball. Big yikes.
You think
everybody? Yes, everybody. Well, I'm not sure about the gun. Everybody was waiting because they thought it was going to be a CS3. They're like, oh, CS3, CS3, CS3. They're all pumped because, they promoted that name like a couple, like where didn't we talk about that too?
No, I don't think
the name. Or no, somebody else says that PE did they applied for the.
Oh yeah, well that was with the LV2 and the other thing, but this one was one they didn't.
Well, they said they did it for the CS3. They went in for the trademark of that name. So they thought the big news was going to be a CS3.
Yeah. That we didn't talk about yet.
So.
Courtney's gonna have to pull up a chair in the background for those of you that are watching. So we have a surprise guest tonight.
Yep.
Worked out well. I don't know. I kind of like it because it comes with all the stuff that people were upgrading their Emacs from. Like it comes with
I'll be honest, I haven't read too much into it, but I did watch a video yesterday of them shooting it in Europe, and it seemed to shoot pretty smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it gives the on-off ASA, which they did not come standard with those. That was like a $6 part. A better back cap, which the one wasn't terrible, but I believe it was plastic, so this is actually a metal one. The standard 3-way, which is like the the Deadly Winds hair valve, which is Planet Eclipse version of that. And then a normal feed neck and a 2-piece barrel, so you can actually use the other Planet Eclipse stuff, and it's the same price. So So I saw it and I was like, oh, that's good, but then it's probably gonna kill the reselling. I wasn't planning on selling mine, but it'll drop the normal ones. But people that have upgrades on them, someone who needs one could probably get a pretty good deal on an old one now. What was my other one? This was the one I was more interested in. So you saw that Free Flow was doing their 5-man classic open, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good way? Like, okay, what do you think about the prizes? Did you actually see the prize list?
Yeah, wasn't it? It's like nothing special for prizes unless you shot autocockers, right?
No.
Was it free flows?
You get a $1,000 cash bonus if your whole team shoots any autococker. Doesn't have to be a free flow.
I thought they were giving out 5 guns or something like that.
Yeah, they're giving out 5 rhythms for first place. But if your team also shoots, like if we went, we all shot cockers and we took first, we'd get the 5 rhythms plus $1,000. That's probably, I would imagine, it's $1,000 per team, not obviously person.
Yeah.
And then second place is 5 Emacs, which that's pretty good. Third place is 5 rotors. Fourth place is the i5s. Fifth place is packs, and sixth place is some bullshit.
I think it's pretty good, honestly.
I do too. Do you think tournaments, if they started giving away prizes like that again, some of these, I don't want to say local tournaments, I don't think that's the right word, but like some of these one-off tournaments.
No.
Do you think they need to do cash, or do you think they can get away with doing high-end gear like this?
Well, look at Chris's event.
Okay.
Chris gives out the most money out of any event around. He gave out, what was it?
30 grand or something, maybe more.
Yeah.
I mean, don't quote us on that number, anybody, but
it was something stupid like that. Yeah. I think it was like $5,000 for, I think it's 5, 4, and 4 for first across the board. Then like 3, 2, 2, and then like 1,500, 1, 1 or something like that. I think it was either $25,000 or $30,000 for.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good chunk
given out. Yeah, and then nobody has even come close to that. But it's funny. I told Chris a year and a half ago, if he did this, it would either A, blow up, or B, it would force everybody's hand to bump their prices up. And the people that are pissed off at him, USXBL and now WC, which is hilarious, have all increase their prices.
Good.
Yes.
Hey, change it. Yes. He's in a position where he can do that. You know what I mean? And it doesn't do it. You know what I mean? He's still got a successful business and a successful league. I don't want to say league, but whatever, however he qualifies. I know he doesn't want to be like a series, but.
Well, now it's going to be a series.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as much as I want, everybody's always like, we'd play if the prizes were there. We'd play if the prizes were there. Well, Chris put up fucking 30 grand and struggled to bring in like 45 teams or something like that. It's like everybody bitched and cried. But you know, the worst part about it is when he hosted in Texas, he's like he's so hated by Fit that they like outlawed all their teams from playing it, even though it was like in their fucking backyard. They basically outlawed all their teams from going it. So they stopped like 15, 20 teams from going to his event just because it's him and they didn't want them supporting his event, which is so fucking wild to me.
And that's fucked up on multiple levels because they're not supporting paintball and they're not letting their players, quote unquote, make money. You know what I mean? Like whatever division they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that could pay for some whole team's seasons. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, or at least cover all their like paint for the season or all their entry fee for the season or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw that one and I was like, that's an interesting way to do
I remember when we were playing, we and Weston talked about this a few months ago, that we used to go around to all these local 5-man events and just beat the fuck out of everybody because it was easy money. It was like taking candy from fucking a baby. We'd use that money to go pay for the CFOAs or the NXLs, because those you don't win dick for. It was just so hilarious to me. I don't know how that's even still a fucking thing, but we would play all these bullshit events, come play events, $200 entry fee and $40 case paint. And we fucking stomp that whole league out, win $1,800, and then we'll profit $1,000. And then we go somewhere else, take that grand, and then go pay our entry fee and paint to go play another 5-man like the NXL,
and still have to pay up $500.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
the prizes have always been fucked.
Yeah,
and I don't understand.
He's like, because he wants to get back into finding local events. And I'm like, West, like, they're not really around anymore. Like, they just don't exist. Local 5-man events that pay out are very, very hard to find. Speaking of that, we have to push coming up very soon, get this ball rolling with ours here at Hoppers. I have basically everything to get it going. Josh at HK is going to do me a flyer, but we can go ahead and start promoting it now. June 4th will be a Saturday.
Yeah.
It's going to be an open 5-man. We're going to do $300 entry fee is for it. Case of paint is 40 and 45, depending on what level you want. We'll offer both levels. And I haven't exactly got the prize. I want to say I'm going to do $1,500 for first place and probably $750 for second place. I think that's, and I'm not going to pay third. I'm going to do first and second, no third. If you're third, you're ass. So,
I agree.
But first I want to do 5 times the entry fee, and that should pay, and you should get some. And I think second place, you'll probably break even or pretty close to it. So at a 5-man event, you really shouldn't shoot more than 10, 12 cases of paint as it is, Is that
what we're going to do, 5-man?
Yeah. 5-man open. I don't want to regulate it, but we're going to run it out at our field June 4th. I'll get a flyer and get it going. I think we already have a decent circulation of teams coming in. GA Extreme will not be playing. We'll all be reffing. I don't want any home team bias, coming around to that. So we'll all be reffing it basically. I'm sure the Titans and those guys will play, and maybe Project X, but all the main GA Extreme guys will be reffing and running the event. So I don't want to deal with hearing anything about, we won because we had home field and yada yada. And everybody's like, oh, you can play. It's not a big deal. I don't want to deal with it. Even if we shot all 5 of them off the break in the face, and there was no, you couldn't argue it. There would still be some sort of fucking argument about it. So I don't want to deal with it. So we need to start pressuring that. But I mean, what do you think about prizes for that? You think?
I think that's good. That's fair. Good? I mean, and we're going to cap it at what?
15,
15, 16 teams. Okay.
Yeah.
My next question was going to be, obviously we are making this up as we go right now. What about the layout? Will we do? It'll be blind. Like we'll set it up that morning, make it a full blind. Okay, that makes sense.
No, probably set up the night before, but
yeah, that's what I meant. Just I didn't want them to be like, well, it's blind, but it's been set up at Hoppers for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. That'll be fun. I have software on my spare laptop here that I got from work that we can use to run scoreboard. So I'll bring that out this weekend, next weekend, whenever we're out there, and we can start testing that because I don't know exactly how it works, but it's very similar. Should be able to hook up to that speaker that Chuck has.
Yeah.
And then just go with it from there. Probably easier to do on a laptop than a phone, I imagine, but I could.
Yeah, I just need to figure out if I want to do race to 2, like SPL, you know what I mean? Because NXL is race to 2 if you make the other ones, or should I just do, you play 8 teams, and then when you make into the finals, it's race to 2 there.
Yes.
Do like that?
That's what I would do. It's just simpler considering we've never ran anything this big. You know what I mean? Like, you've done some smaller tournaments, but you probably didn't have one, you know what I mean, with this, probably not with 15 teams.
Yeah.
So, and I think it would just be
simple. We'll just do a round robin, and then when you make it into the finals of some sort, quarters, quarter semis and finals, it'll just be race to 2.
And you do 2 brackets of 8 teams.
Yeah.
Break it down like that, and just random draw. We could even do, well, this is probably getting too much. And I was say, if we had people that didn't have teams, they could show up the day of, depending on if we sell out or not. You know what I mean? That could be another way to look at it.
Yep.
And then if we have 4 or 5 guys,
bringing high D2, D3, not anything crazy like that. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not. We can. Anybody wants to come play, they can come get it.
I agree. If some teams want to travel and maybe beat the shit out of some kids,
teams, maybe some Atlanta teams. You know what I mean? So, maybe the I-75 and Bandits will come down.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody within anybody who's traveling to go to the SPL should be like fucking traveling to go play this because it's more money to win. No ID cards needed. I just need a government issued ID that matches your. Actually, it's open. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
So it didn't really bother me actually. So no IDs needed. Paint is cheaper. It's gonna be better. And prizes are better. So there really should be no fucking reason. And the field's gonna be better. You know what I mean? So should be no reason why you're not playing there.
I agree. Cool. Well, when we get more details out, we'll make a bigger post, I'm sure. And
I haven't even put the post together, but I've been talking to a lot of guys here and there, and we finally got a date drilled in about a week ago, June 4th. It doesn't interfere with any other tournament. It's far enough away from all the other events, so it'll be a perfect time. CPXL is May 14th, 15th weekend, so that's literally I think 3 weeks after, so it's fine. Yeah. No, the event will be 3 weeks.
3 weeks after that one. Yeah.
So, and it's like 3 weeks before MVPS too, so it's like a perfect gap. Yeah,
good practice for some teams. What did you think about Mick Murray's new carbon mask?
Well, I wore one in XL Florida.
I did not.
I love everything about it. It's probably one of the best masks I've ever worn, but also one of the ugliest masks I've ever seen.
I put his on and I was like, I could wear one of these all the time. It was so
doesn't echo. It wears great. It's small. It's like not too small. It's small enough.
Yeah.
It's tight. It's comfortable. I wore it when I was running those drills. You see, I was running those drills.
Yeah.
I wore it then, and I'm like, man, it's a great mask. But it looks so fucking ugly. But boy, they're selling out. Every time I put it up on the site, they're gone, sold out every time. I see no bad things about it. So
other than the look,
Yeah.
What about you, Courtney? What did you think about him?
No, I agree. I tried it on. It does feel great, but I do not like the look of them.
I figured you would like the look because to me they kind of look like the old KLRs. Not exactly, but
they do have that like that big
part. And that's what I was like, oh, those kind of look like KLRs, which I never thought were an ugly mask anyway.
No, I think KLR actually look pretty
these, good. I don't know, but when I grabbed his, I didn't realize they were gonna be that flexible. Like the bottom was like,
now,
it was
they make
wild.
3 kinds, and they're all different. They make them in like 2 masks, and they make them in one different version. They make them in a soft, a harder, and then like a medium. So I looked at him when Justin had his, and Justin Martin had a pair at in XL. I checked them out.
Yeah,
I'm like, they are not that bad. I was looking at them. I'm like, I like everything about them. I just could not really. I don't know. I just couldn't do it.
Weird question. Do they use their own lens or do they use like somebody else's lens?
I think so. Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't sure. How like maybe Command uses the Virtue lens or maybe I don't know. They didn't look like any other company, so I assumed it was its own.
Pretty sure it's their own lens. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, those are the 3 things that I had on my chopping block. Did you have anything else?
No. That's it. How about you?
Did you tell everyone that we showed up to the field Saturday? Sorry, we played Saturday this weekend, and we get out of the truck and realize that Wes forgot his whole paintball bag at the house.
Fucking scrub.
In my defense,
no, there's no defense.
I had everything, including my gun and all my clothes. I was only missing my pads and mask, but I had an extra mask in the truck. I just didn't have my elbow pads. And if I would have drove there, she was nice enough to go back and get it for me. I would have been like, fuck this. I'm just going to roll without pads today. I mean, Ryan Moorhead has made a career out of playing with no pads, shout out to him. But I definitely would have been way too lazy to drive back and get pads. I can go ahead and tell you that right now.
Oh yeah. There's no fucking way.
No shot.
Well, we were there pretty early. We were there at like 8, a little after 8. And I know that
well, you were leaving. You were leaving at like 8:15, and I had just pulled in, and I was like, I ended up talking to Mike up in the parking lot for about 10-15 minutes, and I actually thought it was Wes that had left, and I was like, oh, maybe is he going to like get a leaf blower? Is he going to get gas, or like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what it was, and then I got down the field, and I was like, oh shit, that was Courtney that left, and I still didn't know. You had forgot shit till
that's fine.
Probably 30 minutes.
But I knew I could get there and get back before we ran any points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty close though. We were going probably like 9.
Oh yeah,
like, not running points.
9. We were running by 9. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's funny. I love it when Wes forgets shit.
Yeah.
At least you should do what Ben Nutting did. I mean, he left shit here when we were in Virginia, I think, for an ACT tournament. like
Yikes.
mask and pants.
Oh my god.
And I was like, huh? And he ended up just buying shit from First Call. And I'm like, that's one way to fucking do it.
God.
But
luckily they had that there.
yeah, right. Well, I guess if you guys are good, I'm pretty good. We're about 30 minutes. I can take us out of this thing.
Take us out of here, dude.
Take us out of here. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening and watching. We
buying the merch, not buying
behind
the merch.
I don't even look. I haven't looked at the fucking merch store for. There literally could be a fat paycheck sitting in there, and I have no idea. So buying merch, not buying merch. Next week we are gonna be on Daniel's brother's podcast, so we won't have an episode, but they will. Did you guys just freeze?
Yep.
Nope. Okay, you guys are back.
No.
But yeah, so we'll be on their podcast, and I'm a real shitty fucking friend because I forget the name of theirs off the top of my head right now. I didn't have that written down in my
The
notes.
Center 50.
The Center 50. That's what it is.
Go
So yeah,
follow them.
Yep, we will be on theirs, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Later.